In this video I'm going to show you what amazing stuff we can do with an ore update in Minecraft, convince you on why we need them and show you how it all actually works. But are more ores even possible in Minecraft? In short, an ore update allows for adding a lot more progression to the game through new ore variations and levels, new reasons to venture down into the caves and construct your mine shafts, offering new ways to play the game with new workstations, alternatives to your classic diamond and netherite gear with new bonuses, all depending on the ores you collect and which one you combine into your most powerful gear. Before we delve deeper into the potential of new ores, we first need to take a closer look at what we currently have. Have you ever taken a good look at mining in Minecraft and what it's good for? Mainly when we want to progress in the game. You might think about getting iron first so we can get diamonds next. That's right, but that's also the main gist of it. Currently progression in Minecraft is quite simple. You collect wood, stone, iron, diamond and then you are basically set. You could go for netherite for a slight extra bonus, but it does not really open up new opportunities. Main thing is, each time you collect a higher tier material, you just craft a pickaxe and move on to the next. Repeat that process until you've gotten your diamonds and you are set. All this can be done rather quickly and after that you're basically set. The only reason you would go down into the caves again, mines or whatever you use for mining, is to gather additional materials, but not to progress further into the game. I can't say mining is just a minor part of the game, as you often need to mine a lot to construct the bases you want throughout your playthrough. But all that mining for those materials, it does not have any function other than providing you with building blocks. The actual mining part in order to progress in the game is fairly small and simple, and not necessary anymore as diamonds are available through means other than mining. Not only that, progressing through mining is quite monotone. There is only one path to the highest tier materials and all of us will take that path in a somewhat similar way. Not only that, once we are done, we ultimately wear the exact same armor pieces with often the exact same enchantments on them, as there's just a clear meta of what is best in Minecraft, and there's not that much room to deviate from that path. Alright, so this is quite a mouthful, so let me briefly tell you what I would like to change. Ores need more utility, progression throughout the game needs to be diversified and new alternatives to the meta need to be offered. Now with all this being said, in my opinion there is already something out there that makes mining a worthwhile and interesting experience, and that is Metallurgy 4 Reforged. It's a mod and I'll be telling you why it's good in a second. First things first, mining itself does not offer that much to players other than the initial progressing and collecting building materials. Take for example copper. Let's be honest, there's not much you can do with copper. It's mainly used for building materials. The lightning rod doesn't add enough functionality to say copper is actually a real useful ore. Nope, this one is solely good for building materials. Now when we look at Metallurgy, we see that they add a bunch of new ores to the game, from tin ore to orichalcum, and all these new ores are in one way or another given purpose in the game. Some ores can be used to refine other materials, some are used to make special armor types, some give bonuses to your tools and some are used to construct new machines. It does not have to be groundbreaking, but adding more ores with each new purposes and use cases makes getting these ores a little more interesting, and that does not mean the current ores like copper and iron are useless now. No, they can also be given extra utilities, such as using them to create new materials or to construct new workstations that help you throughout your playthrough. Yes, you heard that right, new workstations. We cannot expect all ores to be useful right away. Some need refining in order to create materials that are actually usable. Metallurgy does that very well. They add a refinery and a crusher to the game, among other workstations, but those two are the most interesting. The crusher allows for ores to be crushed into a powder form, which you can then use in a refinery to combine multiple different powdered ores to create a new one, which you would need to smelt in a furnace to create a new type of metal. It allows you to play around with different combinations to create different types of materials, which may be more powerful or not. With adding these new ores and if refined metals, we can also change the way one progresses while mining. Instead of having the regular progressing from stone to iron and then diamond, we could have an alternative way to progress. So instead of getting diamond, we could for example create steel to substitute for diamond. It will have different properties, but would be able to break obsidian nonetheless. But for it to really make sense, we need steps that go beyond diamond. People will have more branches to take when trying to progress with their gear, which ensures that at the end of the road, people will have taken a different path and have different materials. But what will you get at the end of that road? Netherite is already quite an interesting concept, as it is slightly better than diamond and provides a bonus: your gear doesn't burn in lava. And I think this is something we could play around with. When adding more ores and metals, the strongest metals that you can get the latest in the game are all on a similar level in general features, but offer slight bonuses. One material may automatically be able to smelt ores, one material may poison opponents when they attack you, another material has a chance to heal you when attacking, and one other may be able to set opponents on fire when using a shield. These are all things that could be possible, and most likely we can think of many other things to add. And eventually that leads to people choosing materials based on their playstyle. Some people see the use in one material and some prefer to choose another, based on their bonuses. That diversifies the way people look in the game, so not everyone wears the same stuff, but also allows for different combat styles, as these materials also affect some aspects in combat. Metallurgy does all of this very well, so please check it out for yourself and see for yourself what might be possible. However, we also need to address the risks of such an update. More ores and metals are of course really cool, and I think the benefits outweigh the costs, but adding more ores also means things get more complicated. It takes away a bit of the simplicity that current Minecraft has in terms of mining. Metallurgy walks a fine line in what is a good amount of ores and what is a bit too much, so it really depends on the person whether you like it or not. I'd say a lot of Metallurgy's ores could be added, but not all, as it may become too much. In vanilla Minecraft we have also seen some other aspects, such as building get way more complicated with all the alternative materials one can use. So I think even though adding a lot of more metals can be overwhelming, it will eventually start to fit into the game and people will adjust to it. I also think to prevent having too much ores in the game is for Mojang to consider on adding as much utility to a single ore as possible, not adding an ore for just the lightning rod and building blocks, but making it usable in as many ways as possible before moving to the next ore. So here you have it, what could happen if Minecraft got an ore update? Would you like to see an ore update in Minecraft? Let me know that in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, go check out the next one.